Vontaze Burfict was ejected yesterday after a helmet-to-helmet hit with Colts tight end Jack Doyle, and now the league has suspended him for the remainder of the 2019 season.
Yeah, that hurts.
This is the third time Burfict has been suspended for on-field incidents, and the NFL issued a letter to him that read in part, following each of your previous rule violations, you were warned by me and each of the jointly appointed appeal officers that future violations would result in escalated accountability measures. However, you've continued to flagrantly abuse rules designated to protect yourself and your opponents from unnecessary risk. He is planning to appeal the suspension. This is the longest suspension that's ever been handed down for an on-field act in NFL history.
This is one of these, if your resume is filled with troubling transgressions, then you're going to get less leeway.
Right.
Like, this is why you should be a good person in life, because if you have a bad day and you blow your temper, people go, well, he's a good guy, he just had a bad day. The problem
sometimes.
Right. Vontez has just had too many flags, so people are going to have no tolerance for him.
No, and no sympathy, because this is, I mean, he ended up hitting his own guy too in this hit, and look, I don't think that every helmet-to-helmet hit tells the same story.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
It's a very fast game, and when we put things in slow motion, some things can look intentional. A receiver or a tight end, a quarterback can move their head 1 inch, and someone is going at full speed, and they can't help it.
That's right.
Like you said, this is not a space where you're going to get the benefit of the doubt, nor should you. I mean, look, the hit on Josh Allen was a helmet-to-helmet hit, but is it the same story as Burfict? Like, I don't think that it is. Well, it's still brutal.
I saw Marcus Peters yesterday intercept a ball, run for a touchdown, and get hit as hard as any.
Right.
I mean, I've never seen a football player get hit that hard. He literally just disintegrated.
Right.
But again, it was helmet to helmet, but it was big guy chasing fast guy. They're near the goal line, pow, firework, and you're like, oh, that wasn't a targeting. That was just a massive collision.
Yes, every hit is not equal, and the intention is not there. But if you're Burfict, you're just not going to get the benefit of the doubt there. Right. So he's gone for the season, and we'll see what happens with the appeal. But I doubt the appeal will be overturned for that. Yeah. So there's some pretty good receivers in the league right now. One of them is Odell. And kind of the book on Odell lately is that you kind of talk a little trash to him and rough him up a little bit, and you'll get him off his game. But were you a big trash talker?
No, not at all. I just played the game, and but I had opposing defensive backs. They would try to get me out of my game. So you got to be able to channel your emotions and stuff like that, and just stay in the game.
Was there anyone who was always able to get you off your game?
No, if someone tried, the best way to shut them up is to score a touchdown on them. Then you score another touchdown. Then you score another touchdown. Then eventually, they're gonna stop trying.
So it's safe to say that no one has ever tried to choke you.
No, that would not happen. And the thing too is that I had big offensive line, and if anybody tried to do anything like that, I would let the big boys handle that situation.
Joy, name all the Miami Stars and tell me the first time you've never heard of them. Go ahead. Just so and then you'll see if there's one that you've never heard of. So
right.
you name them, and when you say you haven't heard of it, all right, go.
Gloria Estefan.
Of course, the Miami Sound Machine.
Pitbull.
Yes. Come on. Give me a hard one, Joy.
Trick Daddy.
Yes, Take It to the House.
What?
Colin,
305, Take It to the House.
Yeah, that's a good song. I have that on my workout mix.
You have heard it. I'm going to play it for you. I would be surprised if you haven't heard it.
I don't think Goulet has Trick Daddy.
Okay, give me a couple
Trina.
more.
I don't know who that is.
How about the other one?
Is she a dancer at one of those Diamonds clubs?
No, she is not.
No,
DJ Laz.
No clue.
DJ Khaled.
I've heard of that.
You know it rhymes with salad.
It does. Rick Ross.
Yes.
Yes.
Flo Rida.
Oh, yeah. He's so underrated, by the way.
So I've never heard of Trick Daddy, and you'd never heard of Trina.
I don't know what Trina is,
City Girls.
Don't know City Girls. Is that a song or a group? Or
Uncle Luke.
Of course, yeah.
TJ Hushmanzada's
2 Live Crew, baby.
Time out.
Let me ask you.
Hushmanzada's in the building.
With them.
Whitlock, you sit at home all night. You don't know who Trick Daddy is.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, of course.
Of course. 305, the mayor.
What does that mean?
Trick Daddy is a. I'll play a song for you.
Okay,
I have faith in you that you've heard the song.
What about Trina?
Yeah.
Diamond Princess.
What about Trick Trick? Ask anybody in Detroit about Trick Trick.
My wife's from Detroit.
Trick or treat. Halloween's around the corner.
I also said that it could be possible that Cardi B makes an appearance. Because
I've heard of Cardi B.
Yes, I'm familiar with her work.
Hustlers.
I thought she retired.
Sure. Have you seen that movie?
No, that's Nicki Minaj.
Is Hustlers good?
It is good. It's
Okay.
based on a true story.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it looks like a good story. That's
Okay,
for sure.
Jason McIntyre. Hey, take some M Drive, burn fat, although you're
Deal.
like 17 years old. How old are you?
18 tomorrow.
Okay, mdriveformen.com, refine your prime. See, I know most of the stuff.
I thought they had the potential this year for a wild card. That's it.
And I'm battling for it,
Right.
not like secure.
And, look, my only issues with the Freddie Kitchens situation, because we don't know what Freddie Kitchens is that we probably won't find out what Freddie Kitchens is, because it feels like Freddie Kitchens was hired so that he could be controlled by the front office.
Yes.
And anytime that is, and I'm not saying that's the case because I don't have any information on that, but anytime that is the case, it never works, because you have to put people in position who are the best at that position and then empower them to be successful. You have to delegate. That's the way that it works. If you have a front office that wants all the credit and wants to control everything, they're not down there on the field. They're not the ones interacting with players. It doesn't work. It's an ego trip. It fails every single time. I'm not saying that's a situation, but if Freddie Kitchens ends up not getting his due, doesn't able to have his time to develop, then that's what it was.
Who in the world thinks Freddie Kitchens is going to be here for his entire contract? Nobody in the world, not even Mrs. Kitchens.
There's no evidence.
If there's a Mrs. Kitchens.
There's no evidence to prove otherwise. And this is a very important next couple weeks for the AFC North, because all the AFC North teams play each other this weekend. Browns at Ravens, Bengals at Steelers. And then the next 2 weeks for the Ravens are at the Steelers, and then they play the Bengals. So we could figure a lot of things out for the rest of the season.
And everybody's walking in. I'm standing in my underpants. No socks, just standing there like, hey, how you doing?
You just changed in the middle of the bathroom like a child?
And I am yoked.
He's a T-Rex.
Yeah, if the toenail hit me, then I would probably have to say something about it. But have you ever been to Laramie, Wyoming?
No, can't say that I have.
My offensive lineman running the back line of the end zone going, look, I'm open, And I'm like, no, you're not. You're fat. So I always leave a little urine on the floor. It's like marking your territory. Just for, it's sterile.
But any weird stuff is like, it's available, I strike you.
What's that? The most immense boogers like you could ever imagine.
Ew!
Like it'd have a vein. Nothing says highfalutin like drinking a glass of wine while you're cutting your nasty ass toenails.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you going?
Yeah,
all right.
we're on.
Snake.
Yes.
Do you know who Lizzo is?
Lizzo?
Yes.
No. I have no idea.
Okay. That's okay. I'm going to play a song and then
We'll see.
see if you know the song.
Okay.
All right.
I don't.
Hold on.
I'm letting you
most
know.
of the room said you wouldn't know, including myself said you wouldn't know.
That I wouldn't know?
That you wouldn't know.
I
But you have a
guarantee
lot
you
of,
I won't
you
know.
have
But
a
go
lot
ahead.
of daughters and a lot of women in your family, so you can sleep or know this song. All right, play it. Ready?
Okay.
Hold on.
No.
Come on. You don't?
No. How would I know that song?
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, you play some alternative 80s stuff? Like, you give me the Smiths? Give me, then I'll know that stuff, right?
Well, this is a relatively new song.
Yeah, I don't know anything new.
Okay.
If it wasn't made in the 80s, I won't listen to it.
You refuse to listen to it.
Yeah, I'm not turning on any of that.
I doubted you on Lizzo, and I was right about that. But
Yeah, I have no idea who
I just said
Lizzo is.
I thought you were gonna know it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
No, there is no
a
way
little
I'm
faith
going
in
to know
you.
that.
Well, Lizzo's awesome, so if you want to try something new, she's 100% that bitch.
Yeah, okay. Let me think.
Area 51 is where they keep the aliens.
Allegedly. It's a government
allegedly
thing, yes.
keep the aliens. I don't think there's aliens there, because why would they keep the aliens where everybody knows the aliens are? They're clearly in another place in the middle of nowhere land that we wouldn't think that they would be. Anyway, September 20th has become the designated day for that people are going to rally and go to Area 51.
Storm is the
Area
word.
51.
Storm.
It is all over the internet. They're going to go get the aliens. Please don't go and try and storm a government facility,
Correct,
because
yes.
the thing is, they'll shoot you on site.
Yeah, somebody said they can't shoot all of us, and they can.
Yeah. So please don't go storm any government facility. I'm not advocating for that. But shout out to the aliens if they're listening.
Hey, we're man.
I did say this at the beginning of the season. I thought this was the last year of greatness for the old guard of quarterbacks, which would be Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning.
Benched.
Right. It just felt like this year was very crucial for them. Ben Roethlisberger, obviously they're coming off of losing Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. they're, pumping their chest up about how they didn't need those guys and they have enough talent and they're the Steelers and they're back to culture, and boom, Roethlisberger's out for the season. You have Mason Rudolph. I don't believe in that situation. Now you have Drew Brees. He's out for the next 6 weeks. I mean, maybe they stay afloat, maybe not. People kind of felt like the Saints were going to take a step back this year. I did not think so, but that's when Drew Brees was going to be out there for the entire season. Phillip Rivers, it was a disaster. In year 15, he made to one AFC Championship game his entire career, and they can't beat the Lions. I think it's over for all of these guys.
Be on our show tomorrow. First hour. Yeah.
I feel like you're appreciating my wrestling, like my persona coming out here.
What is your...
I would be a great wrestler.
You think so?
I love to fight. I love to talk trash.
I would be...
And I like flashy things, and this belt is awesome. So sign me up.
Joy Taylor.
Obviously what was going to happen. I mean, you went through a little less dramatically than Antonio Brown did with the helmet, but...
So you and I can't get money that way?
No.
What if I said on the air, those were delicious corn nuts I just had, brought to you by Nabisco. Can I do that?
Did they pay you but not pay Fox?
No, I don't. But I'm trying to get a deal from Nabisco.
Oh. Well, I mean, I don't think they can crawl in your brain and decide that that's how you went about it. But eventually you'll have to pay the company, yeah.
I'm just saying OBJ has given me a lot of new ideas.
I mean, you have social media. You could just hop on the gram and make all kinds of money, Colin.
Oh, good Lord.
If you need another revenue
I'm going to
stream.
do it right now.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm sure that Corn Nuts would probably give you some money for Instagram.
I'm going to do it right now. Can I do this live on the air?
I don't think so.
Well, it won't be on the air. I'm going to just say, I love corn nuts. Let's see how it plays out.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I love corn nuts.
I also love corn nuts.
Okay, I just did it. I want to see if I get an offer. Okay, I love corn nuts. All right, just put it on my Twitter account. Let's see how the world reacts.
Do you have a problem with Odell doing this? Because you didn't like all the endorsements Baker was doing.
Maybe I've changed my mind.
Oh, okay.
Depends on what happens with my new deal.
This whole offseason, all the stories about him not practicing in training camp had me very concerned. So the shock of his retirement was just that it was happening at all, but not once you heard the news about what was going on. We say all the time how draining injuries can be, but
God.
If you had any kind of injury just in regular life, like you slipped and fell and you had to rehab, it is an incredible inconvenience. It's not just that you're physically hurt and the pain of rehabbing. It's extra hours that you have to put in. You have to leave work and then go and rehab. Like it is an additional job to what you're already doing.
It's been physically. And it's been 4 straight years of that.
But the important thing that he said was he's just mentally exhausted. And that was the biggest takeaway for me. Coming back from injuries it takes a part of your soul when you have to come back from something like that. And you're not accounting for being away from your family. You're not accounting for, as you said, if you have to take painkillers, if you have to answer to the media, you have the stress of everybody asking you when you're coming back, when are you going to be 100%. It's overwhelming. And for him to have to do that for as many years as he has, this was not an easy decision to make. But I do think it's monumental that he said, enough, I just mentally can't take it anymore. Of course he's going to miss the game. Of course he's going to miss the competition. And as we know, as we always have these conversations with former players, you miss the locker room, you miss the camaraderie.
Yeah.
There's nothing like walking into an NFL stadium and having thousands of fans cheer your name. There's no replacement for that in life. But there's also no replacement for your mental health. And that is what guys are saying now. Like even talking to David Shaw earlier, players are more educated, not just about how to eat, not just about how to train, but about the value of being healthy in all aspects of your life. You can have perfect physical health, but if mentally you're not there, it doesn't matter. And playing on this level, it's mostly mental. There's tons of athletes walking around planet Earth that are capable of playing in the NFL. The mental aspect of it is what's harder. It's getting hit, getting knocked down, and playing with a lacerated kidney. Like the mental state that you have to be in to overcome that kind of pain and go out and perform is exhausting. Eventually this will be the league's MVP next season.
I don't think that's crazy. I think he'll have a great year.
I think he's going to have a great year. I don't think it's crazy, but I do think it's kind of interesting if they are going to be in that space that the Warriors have been in for the past couple years, that even though they are having amazing seasons, do they kind of cannibalize each other in the MVP race? The last time he was the MVP was in the 2012-2013 year with the Heat. They were 66-16, and in 76 games, he averaged 27 points, 8 boards, 7 assists in 38 minutes. So pretty decent year. He's been MVP 4 times. It just kind of seems like everyone got a little bit of a fatigue with it in general. But when you look at the league, though, who does stick out as someone who would be the obvious MVP front runner? Like usually when we look at the way the teams are assembled, we can say, okay, you know, if this team has a great year, this guy would be a likely MVP candidate. So LeBron is apparently trying to trademark Taco Tuesday.
You know what that is?
Please don't do it. Okay, just to be perfectly clear, all
Right.
right, I love tacos. More importantly, you did not come up with Taco Tuesday, and it is actually infuriating when LeBron does stuff like this. I feel like somebody going to try and trademark chicken and waffles.
No, it's like trying
But
to
not
trademark.
just somebody who should not be trademarking
It'd be like
chicken and
me
waffles.
trying to trademark chicken and waffles.
Yes.
Okay.
If
All right,
Helen
now we're
came to
getting
you
there.
and was like, I think I'm going to trademark chicken and waffles,
No.
you'd be like,
Nope.
no, the f*** you're not. I cannot describe to you the disdain I have for that ridiculous, stereotypical Mexican voice that he does for Taco Tuesday.
He doesn't need to do the voice inflection part. Like he could just. I mean, if I do it, it's
Even if
it's
he just
bad.
yelled, "It's Taco Tuesday!" Just like that. Just in a normal voice that you normally
You don't.
speak in with your
You
normal sounding voice.
It's a different voice.
It's a different voice. Balls. How to keep your relationship alive when you live with a sports obsessed guy. Yes. Now, Skip is also a contributor in the book.
He is.
But what made you want to write the book?
Because after all of these years of being with Skip, 14, August 27th, and 3 years married, I had been through too many games in my life with Skip that I really didn't want to sit through, but I did because I wanted to be with this guy. I would call my mother and I would say to my mother, I have to watch another game. And she'd say, oh, and my mother being a little Jewish woman from Long Island, she grew up in Manhattan, but she was like, listen, would you rather have him go to Hooters with some guys and watch it with the guys? He wants to watch the game with you. And then I was like, my friends would say, how do you do this? And so I thought there has to be something out there like a guidebook or a handbook. And I looked online and there was nothing. Nobody wrote a book. I didn't care. I needed to teach women about tips, how to keep your relationship going and how you can cope with it, even if you don't care about it. When we were in New York City, Skip was getting his hair cut at some salon and I was waiting in the lobby for him. And these two guys came down from the elevator and one guy said to the other, oh, do you see who was up there? It was Skip Bayless. He goes, oh, such a jerk. And I heard it and I was like, I'm not going to let that go. So I went over to him and I said, were you talking about Skip Bayless? And they said, yeah. I said, do you know him? And the guy was like, no, he's just up there. I said, then why don't you not talk about somebody you don't know? I said, you don't know who he is. I said, so I don't really think that's a good idea. And just then Skip came down and Skip walked over to me and then they just kind of walked away. And Skip said to me, oh, you're not going to pick a fight. Those guys, they're like 6'2". I said, well, I'm not going to let somebody say stuff about you. He said, I'm going to have to be the one that's going to have fight these guys. I said, well, I'm sorry, but people tend to talk about anybody in the public eye, in the spotlight. They don't know the person, and automatically you have this built-in.
Well, that's the environment that we live in. But you don't want the smoke.
Right.
They didn't want the smoke.
No.
They kept
No,
it
not with the Bayless.
No,
Well,
no.
one thing about Skip I will say, though, because people ask me all the time, especially when I was working on Undisputed, like, do they really mean what they're saying? Like, you go there and you do the show, and, like, people think, okay, Shannon, we have a topic, LeBron, and
Right.
Shannon's just going to pick this side, and Skip's going to pick this side.
Just for
And I
TV.
tell them, like, that doesn't, if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you ever argue something passionately you don't care about, no. So we couldn't do a 2.5 hour television show based off nonsense.
Right.
Like, these guys really believe what they're saying.
And Skip would not.
Right, Skip would not. So he has very popular stances. And,
Right.
like, this is what he believes. We all know he loves Tom Brady.
Right.
He's the greatest ever. He's the GOAT.
Goat.
We know he's very critical of LeBron.
Right.
That's the thing. We know he loves the Spurs and loves the Cowboys.
Jordan's goat.
Right.
Jordan is the GOAT. Yes.
Right, Jordan.
Is there anything that Skip is super, like, dug in on that you don't necessarily agree with?
Ooh.
Team-wise?
Or just a take, like, we know he is, like, very critical of LeBron. He's out on Kawhi, as we know, because he's no longer
I
with the
like
Spurs.
Kawhi. So, okay, I loved Kawhi from a Spur. I always loved Kawhi. I was going to get a Kawhi sweatshirt before he left the Spurs because I have a Manu sweatshirt and I have a Spurs and I have all that. And so I always loved Kawhi. And when Skip started hating on Kawhi, I still secretly love Kawhi, but I would say to him, I really like him. And Skip would go, oh, fine, you could go with Kawhi. And so we were we went to see the Pacquiao fight in Las Vegas.
Right.
And we're sitting there, and I don't like big crowds, and it was a ton of people, and I was starting to get like a panic attack. And everybody, when Pacquiao started winning, people were standing up, and we were maybe the 6th row in, and people started to rush the stage, and I was getting a little paranoid. Oh my God, we're going to get stampled like the Beatles or something. It was crazy.